Betty. Australia House. We're practically on Australian soil.
Oh, Frank.
Oh, why not have a little beverage? Hey? Have you got a glass? You cheer yourself up.
Mr. Spencer, please. Leave.
Leave?
Yes, go.
Go? You mean I can go? Oh, Mr. Lawrence, put it there. Oh, good on you, cobblers.
Well, Frank didn't make it, but why don't you live in Australia? You've got the most loyal fan club of anyone I've ever met, these people over here, the Michael Crawford fan. You could live
I'm not sure immigration would agree.
Are there still Frank Spencer lookalikes in England?
Oh, yes.
Apart from your daughter?
Yes, it does. Oh, poor Lucy. No, it does. It used to happen. I mean, when we were doing it, there was a man, when I was doing the musical Billy, there was a, well, I think he was a man. He came along to the stage door virtually every night, and he was about this tall, and I was that tall, and he'd come alongside me as I was going to my car at night after that, and he'd go, "Excuse me," and I said, "Yes." He said, "Can I help you?" I said, I very much doubt it. I said, "I'm on my way to my car." He said, "No, I mean, can I help you?" I said, he said, "Do you need me?" I said, "For what?" He said, "Well, do you need a double?" I said, "Well," I said, even at a stretch, I said, "Can you see how tall I am and how tall you are?" I said, "I don't use doubles, but if I did, I'm sure they'd want someone of the same height." So he said, "Well, I could wear lifts." I said, "Please." He said, "Well, can you give me any advice?" I said, "Yes, you could. I've got a doctor's number. You could call." It was, and this, I'm sure it was this fellow that used to go around. I get letters from people saying, "I saw you in Anzarote. You're much shorter than I thought you were." And there's a picture they send me to sign. It's this curly-haired, and apparently he was in a car accident. He sued the other driver, went to court, and won about £20,000 in damages, which is more than I ever got paid for the series in the first place.
What, for loss of work?
For loss of work.
As Frank Spencer?
Yes.
Do you have as much fun and many stories as you have with your children, now that you've got grandchildren? Are they as...
Well, yes. I mean, I love to spend time with the grandchildren, and they're at an age now. They're both... I have 2 children by both daughters. No, I mean, I have my daughters... I have 2 grandchildren by my both... there are 4 of them. And so the eldest 2, I thought it was time maybe I should take them along to church. And because that
not the Catholic Church, I hope, after you...
Well, yes, it was. This one happened... No, I'm banned from the Catholic Church. I have to go to the Anglican Church. And so but I thought, because there was a lot of music playing this day, I went into this sort of cathedral in London. Well, sort of. It was a cathedral. And there was beautiful music playing, and it was halfway through the Mass, and I thought the children would love this. So Papa, because I refuse to be called Grandpa, I said, "Papa takes Charlie and Isabel along to church." And both daughters are sitting in the car saying, "Daddy, are you sure you're going to be all right with them both?" I said, "Look," I said, "how did you ever grow up?" Because they never think you can do anything. I mean, it's and there they are with children. Who got them to that stage? You know? So I took the 2 little ones in, and they climb the stairs one at a time, and their little innocent faces. We walk in, and it's all going quiet because it's round about confessional time again. I seem to be always in there when I've got to say, "Uh-oh, what have I done wrong?" And I got inside, and it's quiet. I said, "Be quiet now, we'll go over here. We can stand on the side." He said, "Papa, over there." I said, "Yes, but don't speak." And the choir sing, and we walk over, and I said, "Why don't we go over and light a candle, I said, for all our friends that aren't here. And so we lit 2 little candles, and it all went quiet for confession. And I turned round just to say a prayer, and I heard, "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you." I said, "Stop, don't say, happy birthday, dear Papa, happy birthday to you." Oh, nice. Right, now.
Now, do you live the life these days, I don't want to get too personal, the life of a confirmed bachelor? Do you do your own washing and your own ironing? And
Yes.
and and cooking? Are you a good chef? Good cook?
Oh yes, I like cooking. I went to this wonderful thing last year in Hawaii. It's called Cuisines of the Sun.
Okay.
And they bring chefs from all over the world, and Australia, New Zealand.
What a cooking course is
Cooking. No, they show, they have a theme like Asian fusion or something, which, you know, like, what's that? So, but it's mixing all the flavors and how you do put things together, how you put a really fine meal together, and how you mix the wine with it. And it makes it much more palatable, the wine. Certain wines will not go with certain foods and so forth. Not just simply red for meat and white for fish, I don't mean that, but just the strength of the wine. So during the day, you have these great exhibitions during the evening where you go and taste cocktails that have been brought together, and each great chef has his own tent, and you have tastings, and you can have 5 different chefs a night tasting their food. During the day, they have classes. So I thought, I'm going to go to these. I really am. So I got into the classes during the day, and we went we went to this one.
You can see it coming, can't you?
No,
you can see it coming.
No, it's
Frank Spencer, where am I?
No, it's just, oh gosh, this will never be allowed on the air, some of this stuff, because I've been down there with my backside. Now I'm now working towards the front on this one. I'm sitting next to the managing editor of Bon Appetit. Now, you've heard of that magazine? It is so posh. She is, you know, grander than grand, and she's wearing the white apron, and I'm wearing a white apron. 7 people to a table, and they've each got, you each pick up a card as to what you're going to do. You know, whether you're the grinder or the sieve or the designer when you've got to put something together. I thought, I can't do any of this. The carver, to carve, because there's a skill attached to all this. So I picked up the whisk. I said, could I be the whisker? Because I thought, that's a pushover. I mean, all you've got to do is whisk. You know, so I thought, I'll do that. So we're sitting there, and the chef's saying, no, you put this in there. We're going to make, we're going to do, what's that called?
Meringue?
Meringue. But we're going to do meringue. Now, meringue, I can't even spell it. They start this mixture. It took hours. So they put the mixture in the bowl, so the guy with the bowl, he does that, and all these women, they all know what they're doing. And it's the turn of the whisker. Everyone onto the whisker, please. You know, Barbara Fairchild, her name is. She's the boss. Michael, you're doing the whisking, right? I said, yes, Miss Fairchild, I'm doing the whisking. I said, where would you like me to sit? It doesn't matter where you sit, just stand there and whisk. So I stood there, and I got the bowl. They handed it to me, and I'm looking professional. I looked over, saw a couple of people whisking, so I stood there, started whisking. And you smile a bit when you're doing it, you know, to look as though it's nothing. After about 10 minutes, I'm going, gee, this is unbelievable. So then I try it with the right hand, and of course, then it starts flying out the bowl, right? So she's sitting there, and I see a couple of dobs hit her, and I thought, oh, she didn't see that. And so my arm is dropping. So I said, I can't do it like that. And they've got Hawaiian TV, Channel 4, Hawaiian TV coming round, taking shots of us all, guy taking photographs. Front of the opera, we got a shot of him here, here. So I'm sitting there going like this. And so the table, now look, you've got to imagine, the table comes to here, right here. So I take the bowl off the table, Barbara Fairchild is sitting here, bon appetit, and I start to whisk. So all you can see is this, on the 5 o'clock news. I'm going like this. and she's going covered in meringue. I was asked to leave the next day.
So that's the Catholic Church, bon appetit. You're asked to leave.
Yeah, but you must try and go next year. It's a great...
At 10:30 at night, we might almost get away with that.
Okay, all right.
We're going to take a break, and we're almost out of time. We're going to bring Michael back and have... Would you like one more song? Yeah! We'll come back with one more song.